Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more CasterMuse Narak Star League. This is a best of 5 in the round of 8, and it is between yabsab, our Zerg player, and Ruin, our Protoss player. Two of the stronger up-and-coming players. Of course, Ruin's been around a bit longer, and I think he's... Well, I guess he had a reasonable career in StarCraft 2 so far. I think he's playing some very strong StarCraft 1. And then, of course, yabsab, he's done very well in the ACS, but not yet being able to make it into ASL, but definitely one of the strongest up-and-coming Zergs out there. Now, looking between these two players, it feels to me like this should be a pretty even match. I've liked Ruin's Protoss versus Zerg so far, and yabsab just looks extremely strong kind of in all the matchups right now, so... yeah, not exactly sure how this will go, but our first map here is going to be Polypoid. Of course, as I said, it's going to be a best of 5, and wouldn't be surprised if it goes pretty long. You know, they're just... I think that this is a good match for each other, and it's actually very exciting that one of these guys will get top 4, because these are not players that you think of. When you look at the lineup of players in this tournament, you don't think, wow, like, I definitely think Ruin or yabsab would be top 4. But yeah, it's going to be cool to have one of them have such a successful tournament under their belts. Now, yabsab going ahead and taking that 12 hatchery, or, well, I guess technically it was an 11 hatchery. We have the gateway expansion opener here for Ruin, sending his probe to that bottom left. So he's going to be scouting kind of late into yabsab's base. Yeah, did you see that? Where he sat here and looked, and actually, sorry, it's not Polypoid, it's a Fighting Spirit, but he sat his probe here to see if the Overlord was coming, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if he had the timing down correctly on that or not, but either way, does not end up seeing it. Goes cross map, it looks like, for a little bit of an end scout, and as the drone pops in and sees him, it's going to be completely aware of the Zealots that will be incoming. Of course, he's going to have to make a lot of Zerglings out of there. We'll see if he actually goes for a third hatch over on this location, as is the norm against this early Zealot pressure on a hatchery first. I'm unsure if that's the way that you want to continue that, but the probe gets on top of this drone. Looks like yabsab did want to go for a little bit of an expansion there. You know, it's pretty normal to make your third hatchery on location, but sometimes... based on spawns and the openers from both sides, the Zealots can, you know, put a ton of damage on the hatchery, basically. Okay, the drone going down still. Probe staying on it, harassing. Zealot being sent towards that main base. And there's been so much harass from the probe, actually, that the drone is not going to be able to make that hatchery. So definitely a little bit problematic. We have 4 lings popping out. This is, oh yeah, another set of lings as well. And look at this, he actually already gets a drone, but great drilling there from yabsab. So even though a drone falls, puts a ton of damage onto the Zealot, I think that Ruin's probably still pretty happy with it overall. Pulls back his second Zealot and is making the forge at home, so preparing for that ling counterattack. Now, the Zealot still being a little bit annoying, getting pretty low on health overall. Zergling's still tailing it right now. The Zealot trying frantically to get home before Zergling's chasing it down. Gonna go ahead, block this wall, and yeah, should be fine. Sets up a cannon, probe in position. Back goes the Zealot as well, so really a perfect hold here against that little Zergling counter. Whoa, actually a lot of probes coming down. Kind of interesting. I guess he knows that quite a few Zerglings are being sent out, so losing a few... oh, he's got to be careful at this. Yabsab is actually going for it. I'm surprised he's putting this much aggression on. Pulling back now with that Zealot. The probe's coming forward. He doesn't want to lose the gateway. Some frantic micro here. And as that Zealot pops out, it does help so much. And he's just going to end up holding that. So at the end of the day, we're at 18 against 13 workers. We're actually on 11 workers there for a little bit for yabsab. So he definitely took some significant damage by having to make a lot of Zerglings and trying to get that attack off. So actually it turned out to be a very good probe pull there from Ruin, and he has secured his expansion. It is up and mining. Cybernetic score just started, whereas yabsab over here has started his third hatchery finally. He has the layer on the way. Zergling speed actually has been researched. It's about to finish, but realistically, can you break through this? I don't think so. I don't think he's even going to try. I think we're just going to see him drone up from here. It's good to maybe show the Zerglings, make your opponent a little bit wary about moving out. But yeah, I think the early aggression of this game is pretty much over now. All right, Ruin taking his second gas. I think for sure we're going to be seeing that Stargate go up very, very shortly here. Over on Yabsab's side, just droning up. Of course, he was pretty far behind there in drones for quite a while due to the Zealot pressure and his counterattack. And yep, there's the Stargate, an additional pylon in the main base as well. Seeing the Stargate, the Overlord decides to flee. That is the main piece of information that you're looking for. You want to know, okay, are they going to go Stargate? Or are they going to cut a huge corner and pray that you don't have Mutalisks, or the potential for Mutalisks with that Spire? Now, this probe somehow slipped out of here and gets to see the full scout. This is actually so useful for Ruin. The fact that he gets up and confirms the Spire and the lair before the first Corsair is even started is amazing. It tells him everything he needs to know. He sees the drone counts. He knows there's very few Lings out on the map. And in fact, even pushing forward with his few Zealots, I don't think he can actually do anything with these. I think just walking them basically past the Overlords and letting your opponent see that you're thinking about attacking is going to force him to make a few more units. And we do see that, right? A couple more Lings here, a couple more Lings here. And these are all Lings that could have been drones. So forcing Yabsab into making some additional units, really well done here from Ruin. Now he has his +1 attack on the way for those Zealots. Citadel coming up as well. We'll see how many Corsairs he actually wants to end up making. Of course, he can send these out right away and look for some Overlords. He doesn't actually need the Scout as badly since the probe did get in. Yeah, so see, he immediately goes after a nearby Overlord. Really smart move here by Ruin. Try to clean some of these up before the Scourge are ready. Of course, the Spire just finished, so he's going to make a group of Scourge here, which will protect probably the rest of his Overlords, at least for now. We already have that Hydralisk Den down. Hydra Speed on the way. Another Macro Hatchery here. We see up just now starting that ranged attack. So Yabsab getting up into his macro at this point. The Corsair going to fly over and do a little bit of peeking, but he knows that Scourge are out, so he's going to be very careful at that and is going to fly away from the incoming Scourge. All right, a little bit of a scuffle here. +1 not yet done. Legs not yet done for Ruin. So he doesn't actually want to commit out, but he does want to push these back, these Zerglings back. Like, there's no reason to let them just sit there when you have this many Zealots, and sometimes they'll kind of show their hand, right? They'll show how many units that they have out at the moment. But gonna pull back for now, which I think is a very good move. You don't want to get surrounded right before +1 in legs. That is the ultimate anti-timing. Now look at this. The Zergling's actually getting up on top of him, yeah, but they do turn around. He was looking to see if he could maybe get a catch there. Doesn't quite get it. Scourge picked off by those Corsairs. +1 air attack still on the way. And looks like we're going up to a 5th Corsair. 5 +1 Corsairs, 2-shot Scourge. So definitely a useful number to have. Hydra's starting to pop out, but look at this. Ruin moving forward here, getting around some of these Hydras. Very well done. +1 almost done for him, but not quite yet. So the Zerglings coming up to fight will trade favorably. All right, backing up for now. All right, here we go. +1 is done with those legs. The Corsair is going to fly right over that group of Hydras, looking for any Overlords. Speed is already done. He's going to be able to catch at least one. The Zealots pushing back these Hydras for now. More Hydras coming up for that reinforcement. Zealots turning around. They've already taken a lot of hull damage here. DT slipping out, slipping by. Oh, but the second Overlord came up, so it only got a couple swipes there. The Corsairs, in the meantime, looking for that damage upon the Overlords. More Hydras going towards the center of the map to deal with these Zealots. In the meantime, Ruin adding some more gateways, continuing to produce. He doesn't want that full engagement yet. He doesn't have enough Zealots. Just running around for those harassments. The 5 Corsairs still flying around. Of course, we have the +1 armor on the way. We have Psystorm on the way as well. Almost done here. But Ruin can't actually fight right now. He's kind of doing some hit and run, right? He's trying to harass. The Corsairs are looking for any Overlords that they may be able to find here. Of course, with the Overlord speed, it's a little bit harder to get those kills. And the Zealots are just roaming about, seeing if they can pick off stray units or find a way in where the main army is not. Because right now, as far as armies go, Yabsab has the stronger army. Ruin's gonna have a very strong one quite soon though, right? He's adding a lot of gateways. So we're going up to 6 right here, 7th at the natural. Robo on the way, and of course, High Templars being pumped out. This is a pretty flexible situation that he's in right now. He has a lot of potential. Like, he can add another gateway and really go heavily into those gateway units, but he's getting up into observers. I think he might end up getting a shuttle as well to try to drop off a DT or do a High Templar drop. But is he going to be taking that third base anytime soon? Dragoon range on the way, so it looks like he's going to continue to power here off of his 2 bases. Corsairs still flying around. 5 Lurkers are being morphed, so definitely a very good thing that we have that robotics almost finish up. Needs to be able to have those observers out to pick off these Lurkers. +1 armor still coming. Oh, wow. Adds 2 more gates. So we're actually going up to 9 gates. That's like the absolute ultimate. I don't think we're going to see any more probes produced. It is like, look, he's got 50 probes. That is some huge saturation for 2 bases. And now that he's got like kind of 1-1 done, Kadarian Amulet on the way as well for these High Templars. Yeah, he is going to go super aggressive. No third base anytime soon, I'm thinking here for Ruin. Just lots and lots of units as he's going to try to take control of this map. Now, moving out, the Lurkers are here, so he will have to back up. Are they on hold position? They are! They're on hold position! What a smart move here from Yabsab. And is he going to do the volleys? Here we go. Yeah, huge volleys coming out, and he targets down the 2 High Templars immediately. A ton of damage going down onto Ruin's Zealot army. A beautiful move from Yabsab. Ruin just didn't have vision on those Lurkers at all. He missed them, flying around with the Corsairs, and runs on top of the trap, losing those 2 high-energy High Templars. He would have about 4 storms by now, so that was an amazing move from Yabsab. Now, Yabsab pushing forward with these Hydras. He does have another hatchery on the way. A small group here. 6 Hydras, along with a couple Overlords, to make sure that he can't be bullied off there with a Dark Templar or anything. Now, the Lurkers actually came up for a flank to catch those Zealots trying to run home from the Hydralisk army, but the Dragoons come out with the Observer, with the High Templars, and force those back. Now it's Ruin's turn. He is going to chase down some of these Hydras. They are pulled back for now. You see another group up here. Looks like they may have been trying to catch like a shuttle or something like that. Catch a probe coming up to try to take an additional base as well. That can be a good move. In fact, he may have caught one. The fact that Ruin immediately goes up here, maybe I missed that. But, oh no, okay. Well, the probe coming up. Looks like he is going to be able to clear out these Hydras. A group of Speed Zealots coming up to flank them from the other side. Chooses to pick off the probe. I love that move. Going to slow down the base a little bit here. Lots of units still being pumped out here from Ruin, but he is collecting a bit of a bank. Looks like he wants to expand, but look, once again, picks it off. Really nice move, but a lot of Hydras are going down right now. Looks like those Hydras going to try to run out of here. 15 more drones on the way. Looks like he really wants to saturate that bottom right base. Yabsab wants to jump ahead as far as the economy goes. But is he going to be able to hold on to all these locations? A bunch of Lurker eggs being morphed at the bottom right for that extra defense on top of the ramp. Look at this, the drones going to try to get out of here. Yabsab's, oh my god, he's going to get caught here. Ruin sees them, but just not quick enough to get the kills. Looks like he may think about going up this ramp, but with that Lurker egg there, it's really slowing him down. The Lurker getting some pot shots from the high ground. Overlord coming down to see what he's dealing with as well. Man, all those drones getting down, that was such a close call. If Ruin had caught those and gotten a good storm off, that really would have hurt Yabsab, but now his economy going to be so scary. In the meantime, an attack up here from Ruin while he expands to 12 o'clock. I don't think he's going to be able to break into this area. You see a beautiful spread right now of these Lurkers. Good size storm goes down. Sunken being added in. A lot of Lings being produced as well here. Just 1-1 upgrades. +2 armor only now being started here from Ruin. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to break him, but I like the poking with Dragoons. Notice how he's not wasting any Zealots. He's not overcommitting on Psy Storms or anything, but keeping that pressure on. Now, unfortunately for him, Hive is done, which means Adrenal is on the way. That is such a powerful upgrade. The Zerglings become basically the best thing in the whole game against Protoss at that point. That's why we're starting to see him produce quite a few more. Those Zerglings, let's see what upgrades they have. Nothing quite yet, but Carapace is on the way. +3 range attack coming, but we don't see +1 melee yet, which is kind of interesting. Once you get into Hive, those melee upgrades are so important to make your Zerglings really put out as much damage as possible. Now, some Lings kind of running by. Looks like Ruin wants to take another base. I kind of like this idea. He's saying, you know what? You're turtled up on these Lurkers. Let's go ahead and double expand behind this. This is actually something that Tastes I talk about a lot, is how much we want to see Protosses try these types of plays a little bit more, where if the Zerg is heavily turtling, you may as well go up to as many bases as they have. And you see, like, look, Lurker Hydra on the ramp. He's got this one waiting to make a Lurker egg if he tries to get busted. Mass Lurker here with the Sunken Colony, with the Sim City. Very hard to break into. And, of course, another ramp with those Lurkers, with Lings, with everything up there. Every location very difficult to break. So Ruin, with the map control, is taking that additional base, and that is a very important thing to see. He's going to get his economy way up there. We're going to see him be able to produce whatever it is that he wants. Right now, getting observer speed, I see on the production tab, a secondary forge for some more upgrades. Certainly, we'll be seeing a lot of High Templars added in there. But yeah, we'll see if he wants to do anything else, such as Reaver Tech, as the game moves on. He does have some massive map control right now. Defiler Tech has been created. Knight is connecting the bases as well. Right now, Consume on the way. So that's going to give him his unlimited energy. Certainly, Plague will come shortly thereafter. The first Defiler's coming out now. Man, that makes the Lurkers just so difficult to break. Still roaming about a bit. Sending a few Zealots here. They're having a hard time even connecting with that Hydra. Look at that. Yabsab micros it back so calmly. Makes a Lurker egg on the ramp. This will buy him a lot of time. Don't forget, he has that Nidus, so the reinforcements can come very, very quickly from this location. So if he actually totally commits to coming up this ramp, I think we're going to see a ton of units pop in. Another army sitting here ready as well. Ruin really setting up powerful attacks in 2 locations. Let's see how Yabsab actually ends up dealing with this. Okay, he's starting to send a lot of units through here right now. Throws down the Darkstorm. Now only melee units are hit. I mean, there's only 3 Dragoons, so it doesn't change the army that much. Some nice storms do go down. All right, backing up for now, deciding not to try to push up a ramp with Darkstorm. Probably a good choice. Still has this containing force out here. Nothing really in front of this ramp, but I don't think Yabsab's going to utilize that too much. I think he's mostly just going to stay turtled on his 3 locations. Ruin now adding in an Archon, getting a lot of upgrades. Plague on the way for Yabsab. Throws down the Darkstorm to start pushing out here. This is a mostly Dragoon force. Oh, that was a terrible Psystorm. That killed like 1 Lurker. And, all right, going to back up a little bit here. Storming the Lings as they're coming through those storms. Oh, in the meantime, a massive drop. Almost missed that there. Look at that. Oh, the Darkstorm's going down as well. There's almost no way to save this Nexus. It looks like the Nexus should be targeted down. Ruin going to start coming up. Of course, his Dragoons will do literally nothing. They can't even hit shots there. The drop continues onwards to the main base. What is this? PvT with recalls. An army in this space, an army in this space. And the Cracklings, you can see, just so powerful with that Adrenal upgrade, taking down these buildings so quickly. The army funneling up right now, but that means that Yabsab is out on the map. Looks like he's going to go after this base as well. Does have a Defiler there to help throw down some Darkstorms. This 12 o'clock base has been taken out. Looks like still a little bit of a containment force here, but Darkstorm going down. A lot of units coming forward. A good size storm goes down on these Lurkers, taking a lot of damage as they walk in, but unless you have enough to kill them all, they are going to be able to eliminate everything here. Of course, the cannon's unable to hit under the Darkstorm, and oh my god, just like that, 12 o'clock taken out. The main base Nexus taken out. The 4th base going to be taken out as well, and all at once, Yabsab explodes onto the map with a beautiful drop, and GG wins game number 1. Let's go on to game number 2. All right, so kind of a crazy ending to a big macro game there. We're in game number 2. It's Ruin in the bottom right of Polypoid and Yabsab in the top left. I mean, I'm not even sure how to digest that game. It felt like it was a really good, really close game, and then there was this one move that just won the game. It actually really reminded me of TVPs where someone does like the double recall and you're like, oh, we were having a good game and it's over. Okay. Stuff like that can happen in StarCraft 1. A game full of everything being imbalanced. All right, so cross spawns, you know, should make rushes and things a lot harder to pull off. Ruin. Let's see if he's going to go Forge or he's going to go Gate. It looks like it's probably Gate. Normally, if you go Forge, you scout with that first probe. And Gateway Expands are so much more common now anyways. Over on yabsab's side, looks like he already has his Overlord on the way, so it could be Overpool, could be 11 hatch, 12 hatch, something like that. Let's see here momentarily. And throw that gateway down. There it is. All right, Ruin throwing down the gate. Gonna go ahead with his scout as well towards the bottom left. And looks like it will end up being an Overpool here from yabsab. All right, so pretty normal openers. Overpool versus Gateway Expand is probably the most common two builds to hit each other. So not surprised to see that at all. yabsab gonna send a drone out. Ah, okay, so this probe went down here to check in case an Overlord was coming. So it doesn't see that, of course. You see the Overlord, it was probably about here when he checked here. So it's just like banking on the most common Zerg scouting strategies, of course. Again, I've mentioned it before. You have to alter how you scout as a Zerg player with your Overlord for tournament settings. You don't want to be completely discoverable all the time. And you can see the very top players in the world, like Larva, for instance, I've seen do really cool stuff where he knew his opponent would scout here, but he still wanted to scout in this direction. So he pulled his Overlord over to the side. So it like scouted down, and then it went down here, and then it went back out and went down. I saw him do that before on maps, and that's like ultimate next level mind game championship quality type of move. That only works against good players, because a bad player, their probe might actually go to the edge, but not a very good player. Anyways, the probe doing a little bit of scouting here. Zealot being made. Already has a Zealot in the middle of the map as well. No gas or anything. Looks like that third hatchery going to be coming up pretty soon here. Probe circling back right now. Keep that intel flowing. Drone going back towards the main base. We'll see. Yep, there it is. The third hatchery starting, so still looking pretty normal overall. And there's the gas as well. This probe going to be sent back. Takes actually a surprising amount of damage here. In the meantime, a couple lings come in. Of course, you have to make sure that you do not let them into your main base. That's the main thing. He's just waiting for that additional Zealot to come out, and we'll be able to easily force those back. They can't really do anything except try to run around. This probe did end up living and still scouting around the map a little bit. Took a bit of hull damage there. Gas just being started here for yabsab. Here comes the Forge. So yeah, nothing too crazy here. Two Zealots being sent out across the map. Oh, look at this. He actually targets that probe immediately and does force it back. So maybe Ruin being a little bit too greedy. And in fact, he turns around with his Zealots. So, I mean, turning around with the Zealots, it feels like it's a little bit too little too late. You would only use them to block the hole, though. That was the only thing that would really make sense. But I feel like he lost an opportunity here, right? Like, you could have at least forced more lings out of your opponent, but instead, yabsab now getting the best of all worlds. He's getting damage done with these lings. He's getting scouting done with these lings. And he really delayed this push. This push is going out so much later. So he didn't have to make his lings right away, but now he's making quite a few. We see 6 lings here. There's another 10 in production. Zergling speed on the way, as well as the layer. yabsab with a lot of lings. Let's see, like, Ruin's walking out across the map right now. He's just got four Zealots out here, which is actually not enough to deal with the Zerglings, and he's not got any cannons at home to defend either. Oh my god, speed finishes, and here we go, getting on top of that cannon. This game is turning on its head immediately. Terrible news here for Ruin. And yabsab trying to unpower this gateway, a really good move, even if you end up losing some lings. Looks like enough damage came out that he couldn't quite do that. But the damage he's going to be taking everywhere. Oh no, his Zealot's going to get surrounded by the big mass of Zerglings as well. And yabsab taking complete control of this game in a very aggressive manner right now. Thing is, he even has a, like, he's droning, he's got his lair finish as well, so he has ways to continue the game into a macro game also. That's a, dude, that's it. GG, up 2-0, yabsab is.